Hello, my dear listeners, and welcome back to the Kapeel Gupta Career PodShow. And today, I want you to imagine that you have just landed in another country. Your suitcase has arrived. Thankfully, it has not decided to study in a different country. Your passport is safe. Your parents have already called 4 times to ask whether you have eaten. You've taken the compulsory airport photograph, reached your student accommodation, and placed one packet of homemade masala in the kitchen as emotional security. Everything looks exciting. A new university, new country, new friends, new freedom, new opportunities. And this is the moment you had imagined for months. But that night, when the room becomes quiet, something changes. The foreign accent that sounded stylish on YouTube suddenly feels difficult during a real conversation. The food is unfamiliar. The weather seems to have personal issues. Your family is awake when you are busy and asleep when you need to talk. You may have hundreds of contacts on your phone, but nobody nearby understands the exact meaning of your silence. You open a laptop, but do not feel like watching another video. So you take out a notebook and write one honest sentence. I'm happy to be here, but today I also feel lost. That single sentence becomes the beginning of something powerful. So today's episode is about the unexpected benefits of journaling for students abroad. Hi, I'm Kapeel Gupta, career coach, life mentor, graphotherapist, and founder of Study Abroad Academy. I help students, parents, and young professionals gain clarity, confidence, and direction in life and career through deep coaching, mindset transformation, and the powerful practice of graphotherapy. Because career success is not just about choosing the right course. It's about becoming the right person for the life you truly want to build. So let's dive in. So, journaling simply means writing regularly about your experiences, thoughts, emotions, questions, lessons, and plans. It does not require expensive stationery, perfect handwriting, or English that sounds like Shakespeare joined LinkedIn. You can write in a notebook, a notes application, or a private document. You can write in English, Hindi, English, or any language that helps you express yourself honestly. The aim is not to create literature, the aim is to understand yourself. And before we go deeper, let us be sensible. Journaling is not magic. It cannot replace professional counseling, psychological care, or medical support. Research on expressive writing has produced mixed results. It may help some people process an experience, while writing about painful emotions may make others temporarily feel worse. So, if you're struggling seriously or for a long time, please contact a qualified counselor, psychologist, doctor, or your university's student support service. However, when used wisely, journaling can become a valuable tool for cultural adjustment, stress management, personal growth, creativity, problem solving, and career clarity. So let me introduce you to a student named Kavya. Now, Kavya has moved from Jaipur to Manchester for a master's degree in business analytics. Back home, she was confident. She knew her neighborhood, understood family politics to one raised eyebrow, and knew exactly where to find the best kachori. In Manchester, she suddenly feels like a beginner. She knows English, but she does not always understand the local accent or slang. She knows how to cook, but the smoke alarm reacts to her tadka as if national security is under threat. She attends class but worries that everyone else is smarter. She had dreamt about independence but now discovers that independence also means cooking, cleaning, budgeting, doing laundry, and deciding what to do when the bathroom light stops working. One evening, Kavya starts writing for 5 minutes, not because she wants to become an author. She writes because her mind has 27 tabs open and none of them has a close button. That small habit slowly changes her experience abroad. See, the first unexpected benefit of journaling for students abroad is that it helps them process cultural adjustment. When students move abroad, they do not only change their address, they enter a different social system. Food, humor, classroom behavior, friendships, personal space, punctuality, communication, and even silence may work differently. Kavya's professor asks the students to call him by his first name. She feels uncomfortable because she has spent her entire life adding sir before speaking to a teacher. Her classmates openly question the professor. Kavya first thinks they are being disrespectful. They see it as healthy academic discussion. During a group assignment, everybody agrees to meet at 4 o'clock. Kavya arrives at 4:10, carrying the relaxed optimism of Indian timing. Everyone else is already working. She quickly learns that 4 o'clock means 4 o'clock, not the beginning of a flexible emotional window. None of these events is very serious, but when small differences continue throughout the day, they can become tiring. Now, this is culture shock. So, culture shock does not mean you dislike the new country. It means that your old understanding of what is normal no longer explains everything happening around you. A journal gives you a private space to slow down and make sense of these differences. Instead of writing, people here are rude, you can ask, was that person rude? Or is communication more direct in this culture? Instead of writing, nobody wants to become my friend, you can ask, do people build friendship differently here? And have I given the relationship enough time? Now, this shift matters. Journaling helps you move from quick judgment to curious observation. Kavya begins a simple evening practice. She writes about one thing that surprised her, one thing she misunderstood, and one thing she wants to handle differently tomorrow. After a few weeks, she starts noticing patterns. She understands that classmates are not rejecting her when they do not immediately ask personal questions. They may simply respect privacy. She realizes that asking for help is considered normal, not embarrassing. She also learns that adapting does not mean removing her Indian identity. Cultural adjustment is not about deleting yourself and installing a foreign personality. It's about learning to function confidently in a new environment without losing your roots. Your journal becomes a safe place where two versions of you can meet: the person you are at home and the person you are becoming abroad. A useful journal question is, what felt strange today and what might it be teaching me? Perhaps you learned that people queue very seriously. Perhaps you discovered that a classmate's short reply did not mean they were angry. Perhaps you found that local food tastes better after you stop comparing every meal with your mother's cooking. You are not only recording events, you are building cultural intelligence. So, this ability to understand different behaviors and communication styles can later help you work with international teams, clients, and employers. And the second benefit of journaling for students abroad is emotional release. Yes, studying abroad looks very glamorous from a distance. Photographs show old university buildings, snowfall, beautiful city centers, weekend travel, and coffee besides a laptop. They rarely show the students standing inside a supermarket calculating whether buying tomatoes will disturb the monthly budget. International students may carry academic pressure, financial worries, homesickness, loneliness, visa concerns, and the fear of disappointing their family. Some students may also experience housing problems, discrimination, or difficulty building a strong support system. Kavya experiences this pressure during her first assessment. She receives a much lower grade than expected. Back home, she'd always been considered a strong student. She immediately begins thinking, maybe I'm not good enough for this university. Maybe my English is weak. Maybe everyone will discover that I do not belong here. One low grade becomes a complete 3 hour film about the destruction of her future. And that night, she writes down every thought exactly as it appears. And then she reads the page slowly. For the first time, she notices how quickly her mind moved from I received a low grade to my whole life is finished. Writing creates a little distance between a person and a thought. A thought inside your head can feel like the complete truth. The same thought written on paper can be questioned. Kavya writes another question. What are the actual facts? The facts are less dramatic. She misunderstood one part of the assignment. The professor's feedback clearly explains what must improve. Office hours are available. One assessment does not decide the entire degree. The problem hasn't disappeared. It has become smaller, clearer, and more manageable. And this is one reason journaling may support stress relief. It helps move thoughts from the mind onto a visible page. You can write, today I feel lonely. I do not need another hour of scrolling. I need to call someone and leave my room tomorrow. This is journaling connecting with action. Many students open social media when they feel alone. But scrolling can create the strange experience of being connected to everyone and supported by nobody. Journaling slows the noise. It allows you to hear your own voice before an algorithm gives you another person's life to compare with. For 5 minutes, complete this sentence. Right now, my mind is carrying and complete it. Yes, let me repeat. Right now, my mind is carrying and then fill the sentence. Do not worry about grammar or spelling. Nobody is giving marks. Your journal will not reduce your score because you forgot a comma. However, journaling should not become your only support. A notebook cannot diagnose a mental health condition, provide help during an emergency, or replace qualified care. If writing repeatedly leaves you more distressed, stop. Try a gentler method and speak to someone trained to help. And the third unexpected benefit of journaling for students abroad is that it documents transformation. Growth is often difficult to see while it's happening. When you live through each day, you usually notice today's problem. You may not notice how much stronger and more independent you have become. 6 months after arriving, Kavya reads her first few entries. She had written that she was afraid to speak in class. Now she has delivered 2 presentations. She had written that grocery shopping felt confusing. And now she knows the affordable stores, compare prices, and can cook several decent meals without calling a mother for emergency supervision. She had written that she knew nobody, and now she has a small group of friends from 4 different countries. The journal becomes evidence of progress. It shows that confidence did not arrive through one grand motivational moment. It grew through small acts. Asking a question, attending an event alone, solving a housing problem, traveling independently, managing a budget, saying no, trying again after embarrassment. This matters because studying abroad can create a constant feeling of not doing enough. Somebody has a better internship. Someone speaks more confidently. Another student has a larger network. And someone appears to be traveling every weekend while also completing assignments, going to the gym, and living a suspiciously organized life. A journal changes the comparison. Instead of comparing yourself only with other people, you start comparing your present self with your earlier self. And that is a healthier measure of growth. Write about a challenge and return to the entry after 1 month. Ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? What helped me cope? What should I do differently next time? Perhaps you learn that asking for support early is better than hiding confusion. Perhaps you discover that poor sleep affects your confidence, Perhaps you realized that one rejected internship did not prevent the next opportunity. Your journal slowly becomes your personal instruction manual. A photograph records what a moment looked like. A journal records what that moment meant. So, the fourth benefit of journaling for students abroad is improved creativity and problem solving. Students often think journaling is only about emotions, but a journal can also become a thinking lab. A new country gives you new problems. How do you manage classes, part time work, cooking, and job applications? How do you approach a professor? How do you explain your Indian work experience to a foreign recruiter? How do you decide between two internships? So, when these questions stay inside the mind, they mix with worry. On paper, they can be separated into smaller parts. Kavya struggles to find an internship. She sends application and receives polite rejection emails beginning with "Thank you for your interest," which is professional language for "Please recover privately." Instead of simply sending more random applications, Kavya opens a journal and asks, "What is not working?" She realizes that her CV is too general. Her LinkedIn profile lists courses but contains no projects. She has not contacted alumni. She's applying only to famous companies where competition is extremely high. She writes another question: what can I test this week? She decides to improve one part of a CV, publish a small data project, contact two alumni, and apply to smaller companies as well. The journal turns helplessness into experiments. You can use the same process. Write down the problem, separate what you know from what you're assuming, identify what you can control, then choose one small action to test. Journaling can also improve creativity by giving ideas a place to land. Perhaps you notice a service missing at your university. Maybe you identify a common problem faced by international students. A lecture may give you a research or business idea. If you do not record the thought, it may disappear somewhere between laundry and the next assignment. Keep an idea section in your journal. Write observations, project concepts, questions, possible research topics, and even strange ideas. Creativity is not always a lightning bolt. Sometimes it is two small observations meeting on the same page. After completing an assignment or project, ask what worked, where did I get stuck, what feedback keeps repeating. This reflection builds adaptability, critical thinking, and self directed learning. So these skills matter far beyond academics. Employers value people who can examine an experience, learn from it, and improve. And the fifth, and perhaps most surprising benefit of journaling for students abroad is career clarity. Many students go abroad with a clear course but an unclear career. They know the title of their degree. They do not always know which role, industry, or working environment will suit them. So during the program, students meet professors, alumni, employers, and classmates. They attend career fairs, complete group projects, take internships, and experience a different professional culture. So much information arrives that important lessons can easily disappear. A career journal helps capture those lessons. After a lecture, write which part of today's topic made me curious. After a group project, ask which task gave me energy and which task drained me. After meeting a professional, write what did I learn about this career that no website explained. And after internship, ask did I enjoy the work itself or did I only enjoy the company's famous name? These questions separate status from suitability. Kavya originally believes she wants to become a data scientist. The title sounds modern and the salary videos on social media look extremely cheerful. During her degree, however, she notices that she enjoys presenting insights, understanding business problems, and working with people more than building complex technical models for long hours. Her journal entries repeatedly mention strategy, stakeholder communication, and decision making. She begins exploring careers in business analytics and consulting. The journal does not select the career for her. It reveals patterns that were already present. And this is especially important for Indian students who may carry family expectations abroad. Parents may prefer a stable and well known profession. Friends may chase the same employers. Social media may make one career appear fashionable. Your journal creates a private place to ask, what type of work actually fits me? Perhaps you discover that work life balance matters more to you than a prestigious title. Maybe you enjoy research but dislike sales. Perhaps you prefer a smaller company, an international team, or a purpose driven organization. Career clarity grows when strengths, interests, values, and opportunities are considered together. You can also use journaling to improve networking. After meeting someone, record their name, role, what you discussed, and one genuine reason to reconnect. This is more useful than collecting business cards that later become mysterious paper rectangles. So you may now be thinking, this sounds useful, but I have classes, applications, laundry, and a sink full of dishes. Now, that is why you do not need to write 5 pages every day. Start with 5 minutes. Choose a regular time. It could be after dinner, before bed, or after your morning tea. Write the date and complete 3 sentences. Today I noticed, complete the sentence. Today I felt, complete it. And tomorrow I will, complete it. And that is enough. On difficult days, write one honest line. On good days, record what went well. Do not open the journal entry only when life is falling apart. Record progress, friendships, small victories, and funny experiences too. You do not have to write paragraphs. You may use short sentences, sketches, mind maps, or voice to text. The best journaling method is the one you can continue. And also keep your journal private, enough to be honest. You do not need to convert every emotion to social media content. Your life does not require an audience to be meaningful. So let us return to Kavya. 1 year after arriving in Manchester, she's packing again. This time, she's moving for her first full time job. She finds the notebook she started on her first night. The first page says, I'm happy to be here, but today I also feel lost. She smiles. She remembers the confusing accents, lonely evenings, low grade and rejected applications. But she also remembers the first friend, first brave question, first successful presentation, first internship interview, and the slow arrival of a confidence. The city did not simply give Kavya a degree, it introduced her to herself, and a journal helped her witness that introduction. And that is the unexpected power of journaling for students abroad. It helps them culture confusion into learning. It turns mental noise into visible thoughts. It shows you how far you have traveled inside yourself. It gives ideas and problems a place to develop. And it connects your daily experiences with the career and life you truly want. A journal cannot live the journey for you, but can make sure you do not move through that journey without understanding it. So, here is your action for today. Take a notebook or open a private document, set a timer for 5 minutes, and complete the sentence. The person I want to become through my study abroad journey is, and complete it. Do not write what will impress other people, write what feels true. Then write one small action that this future version of you would take tomorrow. Perhaps they would ask a question in class, call home honestly, attend a networking event, improve their CV, book a counseling appointment, cook a proper meal, or simply sleep on time. Repeat this 5 minute activity for 7 days. At the end of the week, read your entries. Look for repeated fears, repeated hopes, and repeated interests. Those patterns may be trying to tell you something important. And now, let me speak directly to the student or parent listening to this episode. A study abroad journey should not begin with random university applications. It should begin with clarity about the student, course, career, and future. Through my career counseling and study abroad mentoring program, I help students understand their strengths, interests, personality, values, and career possibilities. Together, we choose the right course, country, and university. We then build a practical roadmap covering applications, skills, internships, networking, and long term career growth. If you're planning to study abroad but feel confused about the right direction, message me the word journey. Let us make sure you do not only go abroad, let us make sure you grow abroad. Your dream career was never lost, it was simply unread. Let us decode it together. This is Kapeel Gupta, and you're listening to the Kapeel Gupta Career PodShow. Keep writing, keep reflecting, keep growing, and remember, sometimes the clearest map for your future begins with one